I'm back. I missed you. Long time no sniff, girl. It's been kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I haven't posted on this channel in like 3 months, which is a really long time for me. There's just been so much going on in my side of the hemisphere, in my side of the world, and I kind of want to just like sit down and talk to you about like what the heck has been going on. I did do a community post several weeks ago and kind of talked about some of it, but if you are not aware of like what's been going on, bestie, you better strap in, grab a snack, because I got a story for you and you are absolutely going to want to hear it because it involves moving and things getting stolen. So the first thing I definitely wanted to talk about is just needing a break from YouTube and just the toll that creating content had on my mental health. I think it's so corny when YouTubers do this, but it's like so real. I'm the type of person when it's like I'm really passionate or really driven about something, I put like 110% of myself into it. And that's how I was when I was in my teenage years and I was doing music, you know, performing multiple times a month, rehearsing 3 times a week, in the studio, writing songs constantly. Like my entire world in like my late teens was all about my music, and that is all I focused on. That's all I talked about. That's all I thought about. And then when I kind of grew out of my music phase, and just kind of fell out of love with it, I did the same thing with my YouTube channel when I started it. So it was like 115% of myself, my whole soul, my whole personality became YouTube. I was super, super driven into it, and I just kept wanting to make more content for you guys and explore new and crazy things. And of course, I enjoyed the music and stuff, but I also just love creating content as well. So it's like I really devoted so much of myself to my craft, into that, and it ended up completely devouring me, and it was like all I focused on to an unhealthy degree. And it's like my mental health was really, really suffering, especially because the comments I was getting and different things that were being said and not said about me were just really hurtful. And it's like in real life, I'm a very like positive, optimistic, quiet person who is not an extrovert at all and hates social, you know, being around tons of people. So it's like I'm such an introvert, and it was just really difficult. A lot of the things said on the internet, it was very, very hard for me to find positivity in creating videos when so many people kept calling me names or saying something really sexist or whatever. And it's like, I get it. It's the fucking internet, right? Like, it doesn't matter. I ain't gonna tell you not to say something. You know, I ain't gonna tell you what to say or not say on the internet. You're allowed to say whatever the hell you want, right? But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt my feelings because I'm also sensitive. So yeah, I just needed kind of a mental break, just from creating content so that I could step away and refresh, because I also was like struggling to find inspiration on like what kind of videos I wanted to do, especially because I was, you know, leaving the reactions behind. And then on top of all of this, I feel like YouTube itself has changed so much, even in the like 3-4 years that I've been doing this. You know, when I first started, it was like pretty much right after the pandemic, and metal reactions were a huge thing and people were still really interested in them. And now I feel like metal reactions are extremely oversaturated and everybody's doing the same song 10 different ways. And not to mention the fact that YouTube's gotten very strict on metal content as a whole. So it's like I have struggled so much with like my Cannibal Corpse documentaries, with like I would get like videos basically demonetized because of flags that I had in my room, or because of a band's name. Like they would flag it and it's like, this is literally the band's name, you know, or whatever. And it was just really exhausting. Like YouTube is exhausting now, especially now because there's AI slop everywhere. It is just, you're competing with kids who are just programming everything into AI and then saying that it's like original content, and it's not. So it's just changed a lot, and I don't know if this is like the beginning of the downfall of YouTube or not. I never thought that I would say that YouTube would downfall, because I feel like YouTube has been so, you know, huge for like almost 20 years, you know, and it's now, I think, hitting its downfall because so many people are going on there wanting to be, you know, the next Jake Paul or PewDiePie, or, you know, the next Mr. Beast or whatever. So am I wanting to be like that? No. And I finally came to terms with that when I when I, you know, took my mental break. I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop chasing views and, you know, stop trying to do all of these different things to like gain subscribers or whatever. Like, you know, I had the fear of like, if I didn't post every single week, like I would become irrelevant. People wouldn't give a shit about me, you know? And it's like I was posting every single week, multiple times a week for like 3 or 4 years. And that is just how I did it. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting having to plan and script, you know, and then film and edit, like do a thumbnail, the whole thing. It is so much work. But it is very rewarding when the time is right. And I feel now like I'm in a really good place with my YouTube channel. And I feel like I can actually sit down and be inspired to do videos that are more well thought out, more intentional, and less like I'm trying to do what everybody else is doing or do something for the views or whatever. It's more just like, because like I have a genuine interest in the music, and I just want to talk about it. And it was also really difficult for me to, and still is, to figure out like what it is that I'm listening to, you know. But for a while, when I was not posting content on YouTube, I was still listening to tons of music on my Twitch, where I stream regularly, and then on Patreon, where I was doing a ton of like Morbid Curiosity reactions and raw reactions on there. And we've just like really dove into so many different genres and a vast variety of bands. And it's been great for me to listen to that, because it's allowed for me to really figure out like, what the hell am I even listening to, you know? Because I mean, I've only been a metalhead for like maybe 4 years in February of 2026. So I'm still learning, and I'm still figuring out like how to describe things. So yeah, I'm feeling really inspired, and I have a band. I'm not going to say who, but I have a band that I'm thinking about doing a deep dive, that I'm currently working on a deep dive right now for. So stay tuned for that. Because I have a fly in this room. Or is it a bee? Oh my God, it's like literally buzzing like a damn bee, girl. I mean, he is sawing wood with those wings. So on top of me taking a mental health break, my move was coming up. So if you didn't know, I was moving from Stillwater, Oklahoma, a little old college town, to Northern California, onto my family's working sheep ranch. So I actually live on a working ranch where I am around sheep and various different livestock, like turkeys and cows and little horses. We also have 2 donkeys. I mean, there are tons and tons and tons of animals on this ranch. I'm doing farmers markets, like the whole 9 yards. Okay. So I officially live on a sheep ranch. And so I moved at the end of May, specifically on the 27th. And I hope you're sitting down for this one, because this is rough. I have told this story on my Twitch. It's still painful, and I'm still like going through like processing like the move and everything. But we had basically hired a moving company to obviously take our stuff onto a truck and drive it the 3 days to Northern California, to the ranch, you know, and we expected that we were going to have our stuff there before we got there, which, you know, it's about a 3.5 day drive. So, we did not receive that. So what we thought was going to be an empty truck and two huge dudes ended up being one really skinny dude and a truck that was 3/4 of the way full. So we were not able to take any of our furniture at all. And I'm talking like, you remember the whole studio setup I had in Stillwater? None of that furniture made it. The white shelf that I had in the back didn't make it. The L-shaped desk thing I had didn't make it. The record player, like shelf, the media player, didn't make it. The bookshelves didn't make it. So, I mean, we lost literally every single piece of furniture. You want to know what furniture we were able to take, girl? Okay? This pink chair, which I think that camera's picking that up, girl. Look at that. Look at that massive rip. That is a rip. A rip in this damn chair. Okay, oh, and this is not even, I hope you're sitting down for this one, girl, because this isn't even, like, scratching the surface of what these movers did to my shit. So, this is a rip, massive rip in my gaming chair. That was one of the pieces of furniture we were able to take. And then we were able to take our king mattress, the two box springs, and the frame, the wood frame. That's the only furniture that made it on the truck. Otherwise, we got our records. You know, I got all of my instruments, 15 instruments, keyboard cases and all, 3 or 4 amps, you know, and then everything for the studio and some clothes, okay? Now, keep in mind, my fiance had been on the phone, you know, giving them exact measurements and all of this stuff, and so it came to a complete surprise that we were not able to take any of our stuff, anything for our move, nothing. So like any of the furniture. So it came as a complete surprise because as I said, he literally had gone with a measuring tape on all of our furniture and had exact box counts for these movers. And it was still short on space. So, basically 3 weeks after our move, we finally got our stuff. 3 weeks, okay? Moved to California. And I think we got there around June 1st. And, you know, they told us that they were going to be basically like transferring our stuff onto a different truck, and like it was going to go to a loading dock, then it was going to transfer and all these different things. And I'm like, oh God, like I was just thinking about my instruments, you know, and these instruments, half of them, 2/3 of them I inherited from my grandfather, you know, so it's like I was very concerned about what state my instruments were going to be in. I was like, oh God, they're getting offloaded by people I don't know from the moving truck. They're sitting on a dock and then being reloaded up onto different trucks. And then all they did to like separate our stuff out from other people's belongings were like little orange stickers that were like that big with like random numbers on them. And I'm like, okay, it was very bad. Do not recommend. So anyway, after 3 weeks of waiting, we finally get our stuff. And I'm going to show you pictures of how this stuff came. Okay. Boxes were crushed. My Fender tremolo amp from the 70s was sitting on like speaker down inside the actual moving vehicle. And one of our record boxes literally had the lid popped off and records were just like splashed around the floor. And the worst part was that I was missing 3 guitars, 2 of them being acoustic electric Martins, one that was one from my grandfather that he had had for decades, and then the other was my very first performance Martin. And I showed these in like a studio tour I did a while ago. I mean, I have literally performed with that Martin since I was 15. Like every single show you could possibly look at for me, for Kaiya on the Mountain was with that light yellow, you know, Martin guitar. That was my baby, and it was just gone. And it was in the most gorgeous tweed case with like the red fur on the inside. And then the other Martin was in like a black case that I had had since I was like 17. It had tons of stickers on the front that came from like tons of different bands and venues, all from Portland, like when I was doing music there like for years and years and years. So, and then my 12 string. My 12 string also got stolen, even though that thing is a bitch to tune, girl. It's gone. So I lost 3 guitars, and then they stole, we had a box with my Xbox Series X in it and my PS5. Both of those are gone, stolen. And I think the most infuriating part is it's like, I guess I could understand, you know, the consoles being gone, right? Because like a PS5 is like $450, right? So it's like, I guess if I could put myself in their mind, in their shoes, that would be the first thing I would steal too, right? The instruments would probably make sense too. However, I don't understand how those went missing, even though I still have all the rest of my instruments, right? You see all of those instruments coming off of one van. How do you misplace them? Bessie, I don't know. And then the most frustrating part was one of the box springs for the King mattress, gone. Just gone. It just didn't show up. But the other one did, but yeah, half of it's missing. So I don't know. Basically, all of this to say, I was very emotionally distraught, as you might guess. There you go. As you might guess. And it just took a minute to just like, yeah, get my bearings. I mean, 3 weeks of waiting, living in a suitcase, wondering where are my instruments, our $2,000 PC that I do all of my streaming on, all of my video editing was with the movers. All of my videos that are backed up on YouTube were over there. All my Patreon content that's backed up was with the movers. Our vinyl was like, our entire vinyl collection was with the movers. So it was a very stressful time. I'm still not fully, I mean, we are kind of unpacked, but it's a whole mess. I need light bulbs for my nice lights. I've got to figure out like where everything is still in here. So this is a temporary studio. We are building a house out here. It's hopefully going to be done by the end of this year, early next year. So at some point it'll be done, but yeah, we are building a house. And so while we are building this house, I'm going to be filming my videos here, streaming up at the main house, which will be really fun. But yeah, it's just been a time. It's been a time, and I'm not going to have as much free time as I did when I was doing my channel in Stillwater, just because I am working on this ranch. I'm basically an apprentice to my mother-in-law, learning everything I can about operating the ranch, working with the sheep, you know, doing farmers markets, and just trying to learn as much as I can out here. And it's really great. It's awesome to be able to actually like be outside and work with my hands and learn real skills that aren't just like on a computer, you know, because that's all I know. Not really, but you know what I mean. It's like for the last few years, I've just been like working on the computer, which is fine. But it's really nice to be able to get that break and just feel like a human being, you know, in the world. So, basically I will be posting videos when I can and when I feel really inspired. And my goal is to post at least once a month. And I'm really trying to focus on more intentional content, things that really add value and that are just interesting to me. And I'm really excited about that. So, yeah, I'm done with reactions. And as far as like the streaming goes on YouTube, I am going to be doing all of my streaming now on Twitch. So I know that's going to be disheartening for some of y'all, but I encourage you to go and check out Twitch and use the app because it is really, really fun. And the reason why I'm making this change is because I feel like Twitch is just more interactive. It's just a better user experience for both me and my audience there. There's some just really fun things that you can do, especially with the emotes and just little interactive things that you can do, because YouTube has not streamlined their streaming. I just feel like it's very clunky, and it's not easy having to switch from just streaming to Twitch to dual streaming to Twitch and YouTube. So I encourage you, if you're mostly watching me on YouTube for the streams, to come and hang out with me on Twitch. It's really, really fun, and we do a lot of listening parties. So I still do my Metal Monday streams. On Wednesdays, we do a dual album stream. So at the time that I'm filming this, we are diving through Carcass and Killswitch Engage. I always try and get like 2 opposites usually, but we've done like a Monomarth and Periphery, and then we also did Bolt Thrower and Death. That was a huge one that we did. So the Wednesday streams are really fun and a great way for me to just like dive into an entire band's discography and see how they change and grow for the better or for the worse. And then Fridays, we always have a themed listening party. So it can be like albums or like songs from albums that are green. We just did songs with albums with castles on the cover, you know. And sometimes we do like versus streams. So we'll do like death metal versus core, you know, or whatever. So there's tons of fun things that we do on Twitch. So I really encourage you to come and hang out with me there. But yeah, I will be posting more content. I promise. I'm not going anywhere. I feel like I'm finally in a position where I can like do this and focus on it. So this is a temporary studio setup for the time being. Once I move into the loft space, it'll be different. But yeah, expect the lighting to be different too, because homegirl, I don't have a single light bulb for any of my lights. I need to get light bulbs. I got a window. That's what I got. So anyway, I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you watching this. And if you care about where I've been, I'm not gone. I just needed a break, and I had a horrible moving experience to sum it up. So stay tuned for a lot more. There's going to be definitely more long form videos coming to me. That's really what I want to focus my YouTube channel on, is long form content, not streams, you know, not shorts. I just want to do long form content on here, keep my streams to Twitch, and also join my Discord. Like my Discord, I have a lot more updates that go on there. So yeah. All right. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye, you guys.